Five, four, three, two, one.
Hey guys, you're listening to another episode of You're Human. It's episode 14. Really excited if you're listening and want to call in. It's the call-in show where there is no prepping. You ask whatever you want. Nothing's off the table. It's all about starting the conversation. So give us a call at 512-523-5609. Incredible week. Just walked in the door. I've been out at Teeks, Texas A&M. Teeks is a fire training center out there, and I've been there all week with some incredible human beings, learning good shit to be able to help other people. And it's always so awesome to be able to be in those types of situations. So really excited.
So what did you got going on this week? What were you training for specifically? Any specialties?
I was in a rope tech class. So the rope tech class is basically teaching you how to put up systems and to be able to, different scenarios of getting people who are, stranded up or, being able to lift, being able to bring people across, access, things like that. So it was just, really a lot of tying knots and rappelling and, haul systems and pulleys and all kinds of shit.
Is this for firefighting or for EMT?
For firefighting,
Is that a silly question?
No, I mean, you'll need, before you can do medical stuff to them, you gotta get to them, right? So
makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's another tool in the toolbox, right?
Another tool in the toolbox.
They're both equally important. If you don't know the medical side or trauma side to it on how to treat them, it does you no good to get to them.
That's true.
And if you know the medical and the trauma side of it, and you can't get to them, it does you no good if you can't get to them.
That's a great way to look at it. Common sense right there.
It all matters.
Got a question from Instagram. Tips for a new firefighter.
Tips for a new firefighter. Hold on one second. I'm putting my getting a little hydration in me. You know what I mean? Tips for a new firefighter. What I would say for a new firefighter or any new first responder, if you get what keeps us going and what made us want to join this was the ability to be able to serve while challenging ourselves, right? Like there's a challenge within us that we want to be what someone needs us to be when they need us to be it. And that's where training comes in. So for me, I would say that eventually you're going to, if you only want to become a firefighter after you get through the fire academy and you get through your probie status and you get on a truck, if you don't keep challenging yourself, you're going to find yourself bored, and not getting that fulfillment of being challenged, right? Like the more you run calls, the more they're going to become easy to you. And the more that is just going to be another call. So if you find yourself at any point in the fire service, serving, being a cop, whatever, and you're bored, it's because you've allowed yourself to become bored, and you should go take a class, or you should go and, keep enrolling in education and learning. And that's honestly my favorite part of the fire service is, or being a first responder, is just the simple fact that there's so many opportunities to continue to grow and learn and get better and train and all that. And so it's really, if you get bored, it's because it's your own fucking fault.
Got a question from Instagram. Georgetown FD, your new home?
No, it's not. So I'm so fortunate to know guys up at Georgetown. Georgetown has supported. I got guys up there who are, just crush it. And Georgetown's been so kind to let me and Jared and go up there and use their facility to train. So it's just, they're just an incredible department. The people who are there are just really badass people. And they're all about, facilitating. They've always been about facilitating for me to be able to go to class, swing in, do ride outs, to learn, right? Like they have a high standard there. And I really look up to the people that work there. And so to be able to go there and, iron sharpens iron, right? And they're for sure iron.
Got a question
hear
from
that?
yeah, cicadas, right?
Is that what that is?
Yeah, I heard it earlier.
Outside? Oh.
Yeah. It's weird. They all come in like waves. It's really crazy. Got a question here. How did you choose the firefighting path, and was there ever any other options?
I mean, I think there's always options. Oh, here we go.
Got a call.
Hey, what's going on? It's Dakota with Your Human Podcast. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's Dakota with Your Human Podcast.
Oh, okay. Damn, dude, that was quick as heck, man. I was like expecting to go through the operator and get transferred 6 different ways.
Hell no, we don't do that. We don't do no filtering here.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right. Sounds like a plan, dude.
Yes, sir.
That was so quick. I didn't even know I was going to be talking.
Oh yeah, how are you, man?
I'm pretty good, man. I talked to you a couple, 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was the police officer medic out of Pennsylvania.
Hell yeah. How's life?
Doing pretty good, man. I was talking to a bunch of the guys from up there, and you're a fireman down in Texas somewhere, ain't you?
Yes, sir.
Midland or
No,
what's the name of that town?
I'm west of Austin.
What is it?
I'm west of Austin, so out in a smaller town west of Austin.
Oh, okay, cool, man, cool. We were all talking about that. And they were like, man, we think that's a great idea. We love that.
Yeah. No, I love it.
Yeah, you got a pretty good fan club over here in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. So
Hell yeah,
it's
man.
Hooterville. Ain't nothing high speed, but you got a fan club.
Man, I appreciate that. Listen, they got fans too. You let them know that I'm a fan of all you all and what you all do.
Well, you know what? They were talking about that, and I pulled up your page, and I said, check this out. This guy's like, he's been through the ringer. I said, but the guy's still like a fireman too, man. I said, check this stuff out, because we were looking at the Own the Dash and all the other stuff you were doing.
Sir.
And they're like, man, that's awesome, dude. And of course, we just got back from 2 cardiac arrests. We're sitting there watching you.
Yeah, I just like literally when I tell you, I just walked in. I did my skills this morning in College Station for my rope tech class. I just finished a rope tech class all week. And I just walked in the door, jumped on this podcast. And I've got my skills lab not my skills lab, but I've got my FISDAP in the morning for my paramedic cardiology.
No way. Brother, oh my God. You're mentioning a word I haven't heard in a while, FISDAP.
Yeah.
We had to put all of our precepts on the FISDAP.
Yeah. So I'm taking my cardiology FISDAP in the morning. I've been reading rhythms all week or all the last month. And just hopefully going to knock my paramedic out by November. I'm going to this.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. It's like, you just gotta, I go back to the simple saying that Sarah Verardo lives by and just put it into words that's so simple. Like, if you have the ability to do good, you should do good. And then when, if you don't have the ability to do good, then you should work on finding more abilities to do more good. Right.
Yeah. Oh, heck, I agree with you, man. Well, we were talking to some of the guys, because a couple of guys were like, the one guy was like out of breath because he was carrying the Life Pack 15 upstairs.
Oh yeah.
And I go, dude, I said, when we get back to the station, I said, we're going to put you on the treadmill. We're going to walk for a little bit. And we're going to build you up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you're going to have a heart attack going up and down a staircase like that. And I says, and that's how we got to talking to you about you. And I said, look at this guy. I said, he's got a program called Own the Dash, or he represents somebody. I said, I don't know too much about it. I said, but the guy's in fire and EMS. And he's like, what? You're kidding me. And so now, I've got about 5 or 6 at the station that are actually doing some more cardio and some different workouts and such.
Yeah, man, it's important, right? Like, and it's not just important for the calls. It's important for our mental health. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I agree with you.
Like, it's just it's an important thing, like, for us to get out there and, getting good sleep, and making sure we're getting good sleep and looking out for each other and working out, sweating a little bit together. Right. And it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. Like, you don't have to go out there and, be running marathons and stuff, but like, just getting out there and moving and just honestly, just taking care of yourself.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of guys, they get in this occupation. I think a lot of them just kind of forget that they have to be in shape to take care of the people that need to be in shape.
Gosh, man. Isn't that true? Right. Like, how many, and I'm not hitting at them, but I truly believe that, like, we are the standard of our communities. And if our standard drops, like we're getting paid to be in shape, to be healthy, and we're getting paid to take care of others. And if
Well, I tell that to guys all the time, and I'm like, guys, listen, man. I said, when you go on these calls, I said, people are calling you because they've run out of options.
yeah, I mean, and you know, and like it's kind of hard sometimes because we all get, I mean, we're humans, right?
Yeah.
You know, some of the calls, like some of these people that call us, like we're the only people that care about them.
That's you. Well, you're right. You're exactly right. I had a conversation. We went on a call last week, and I was talking to this old homeless guy. He was actually an Army vet. I was talking to him, and he goes, "Man," he said, "nobody cares." And I'm like, "Well, I got to be honest with you, dude." I says, "You know, people care as much as you make them care." And I says, "And you know, right now you're kind of down on your luck and everything." And I said, "But you know, I'm going to help you out." I said, "I'm going to give you some context." I said, "I can help you and get you to the point, but I need you to step up to the plate.
You got to do the work.
I'm here to help you." Yeah, you're going to have to meet me. And so I talked to the guy today, and he's starting to dry out because he was in pretty bad shape. We had to do Narcan on there.
Oh no.
And yeah, well, you know, you see a little bit of everything, but you know, I called him. I think yesterday afternoon I was talking to him. He goes, "Yeah, I'm still a little jacked up, but you know, I'm trying."
Yeah.
And,
Well,
but
you know, they gotta want it.
With you, what's that?
They gotta want it, right? I mean, you can't do it for them.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, you've been to the VA environment, you understand that.
I do, but I mean, like, it's all honestly, it's the same as like people who are, you know, who are 30 some years old and they're still blaming their mom or their dad for why they're fucked up, right? I mean, it's like, how long are you gonna go blame others and what had happened a long time ago when you've taken all these days to be able to get over it and to do something about fixing it? You know what I mean? Like
yeah. Well, you're right. Well, they're looking for a rationalization for bad conduct. It's like, no, man.
yeah,
You have to accept the responsibility for what you do and what you've done.
100%, man. You ever had a bad day?
Yeah.
You ever had a bad day? You ever been down on your luck?
Oh my God, yeah. We have them all the time. But you know what? You just look. I literally we handled, and I say this, and you understand this, but we had those two bad calls a couple of days ago. When we got done, I go, "Okay, guys, let's get the rig cleaned up. Let's get it squared away. And what do you guys want for lunch?" And we just sat over lunch talking about the bad call, and I was like, "Oh, guys, we're gonna have to get ready for the next tune."
Yeah. Well, you know how I looked at it, man. I came home. I'll never forget. I came home from this one call, and I talk about it all the time. And you know, it wasn't it wasn't like, you know, people think the hard calls are and sometimes they are, but like usually like the crazy calls aren't the ones that are hard. It's for some reason like some type of when they're humanized. You know what I mean? And we had a cardiac arrest probably a couple years ago when I first started getting into it, and get there, and you know, the guy was in the shower and pulled him out of the shower and started compressions on him. And his wife, like, she laid on the foot of the bed and like watched the whole time, and like, yeah, right. And so we finished, and you know, we all kind of know the outcome of majority of these things, right? Especially if it's not witnessed. And man, I walked out there and like I went home, and man, I walked in their house and my kids were at home, and they like, "Dad, what happened? What happened?" I couldn't even say nothing to them. I walked straight to my room. I turned the shower on and like just bawled my eyes out for probably 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, why the fuck am I doing this? Like, I've already, you know, I've already gone through this shit. I don't need this shit. And you know, like I had kind of had this epiphany, and another one of my buddies kind of put it to me this way. He said, you know, everybody wants to be there when you're born, right? Like everybody wants to be at that moment. Like everybody's excited about it. You celebrate that day for the rest of your life. He goes, but you know, your last moments on earth, like nobody really wants to be part of that. And he goes, sometimes we're there and we get to be part of this end of life segment. And we get to make their way out the best that it could possibly be, and with honor. And we get to show them that, like, they left this world, they took their last breath knowing that people cared about them. They left their last breath not alone. You know, they took, you know what I mean? And like, and then their families got to see that people cared and tried and did everything that they could for that moment. And I think that's an important piece to us, right? Like we get to do this. And as many times as we want to save everybody, like sometimes our role on that job isn't to save them, but to let them know that we cared about them on their way out. Because I think that in this job, we all know that we are in no control.
Oh, I agree. Now we did a few years back, I'm talking quite a few years ago, we did a cardiac arrest where the guy, he was out for, golly, probably 35, 40 minutes easy. We were transported to the hospital. We were working the whole way. And they brought him back in the hospital. We were using AEDs and everything, and,
Yeah.
all the drugs. And
But how many times you done that?
Oh my God, numerous times. And,
that's awesome.
So we get to the trauma bay 1, they're working the guy, and he comes back out. Well, he calls us like 2 or 3 days later, and he goes, "Hey, I just want to let you guys know." He goes, he says, "I don't want to freak you out." He said, "But I saw everything you guys were doing in the back of the ambulance."
Yeah. I had a guy, a drowning guy, a guy that drowned. And we pulled him out of his car, and he said the exact same thing, that he
No way, really?
yeah. So he drowned, and we got him back after like 4 rounds of CPR, flew him out, and he walked out. I mean, he's out, and he told one of the guys, I've never spoke to him, but he told one of the guys that like he's seen all of us working on him, and like he's seen us come get him out of the vehicle and like everything.
Wow, it kind of freaks you out a little bit. When you think about what's on the other side and what you're doing, you're like, wow, this is really kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, right? But
yeah, that's talking about a funny part. Okay, now I was down at Onslow because I volunteered while I was in the Marines years ago.
Oh yeah.
And so I volunteered with the Jacksonville Rescue Squad. I'm talking years ago because I'm an old bastard. And so my first run, they take me to the Onslow Hospital, and the guy we had was dead. He was priority 4.
Yeah.
So they're like, "Okay, Eric, you're going to take him on back to the morgue." So we go back in the room, and while we're back there, the doctor smacks this guy in the stomach, and he sits right up. We're in the morgue now, okay?
Oh yeah.
And he smacks this guy, and the guy sits right up, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" And then they close the morgue, or the container, the freezer room, and they lock me in there and close the light, turn the lights out.
That's crazy.
I'm like, "Oh shit!" I'm like freaking out. I'm like, I'm not like losing my shit, but I'm pretty close to losing my shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Rigor mortis.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you guys. I hope.
Well, anyway, thanks for taking my call. I enjoyed talking.
Tell everybody I said hi up there. I'm gonna swing by and see you guys one day.
Yeah, we're up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, just a small little Hoover County, but
love it.
We're probably about an hour west of Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
appreciate you, brother.
It's no worries, brother, man. Well, look, I know you got other people you want to talk to, so thanks for taking the time to chat.
Have a great day, sir.
Hey, good luck on your FISDAP.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Man, what a good guy. What a good guy.
I love it when people call back. That's amazing.
I know. That is awesome.
That out of body experience thing, I had never heard of that before.
Yeah.
That's freaky, man. Mm-hmm. Goodness. We got a missed call here. I'm going to go ahead and give him a call back.
Oh,
hey, what's going on? It's Dakota with Your Human Podcast.
Hey, bud, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Number 5, brother.
Same for 5, man. What's going on?
Die, baby.
What's going on?
Who will?
What's that? That's a fact. What's going on, man?
Hold on. You're going through. Hold on, I got to put you on mute on the computer. Okay.
What's going on?
Yeah, so I was Desert Shield Desert Storm, man. I got out in 92.
Hell yeah.
And, service connect, all that shit, injuries, whatever. But I didn't know you joined the fire department, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it, man.
Is that just recently?
No, I've been doing it for going on, a little over 3 years.
Nice, dude.
Congrats. Yeah, I love it.
And I just wanted to touch on that, man, for a little bit. I'm a little older than you. I got 5 decades under my belt, half a century. The thing that I've learned over the decades, and I experienced it myself, and it took me about a decade after I got out to understand it. But one of the main issues with fellow veterans, especially combat vets, especially those of us that were Marines, Army, you know, combat
Yep.
element. I was amphibious assault, AAVs, and is that we lose purpose, man. We lose mission. We lose that motivation, that focus.
Yeah.
Because if you think, and the longer that you're in, and the more shit that you did, the worse that it is when you get out. Because we have that strong bond, dude. That the average citizen, civilian, they don't understand it. They didn't live it. You know, you get it with the fire department.
Mm-hmm.
I joined the Carpenters Union, you know, to try to get that brotherhood a long time ago.
Did you find it?
1997. A little bit, you know. But then the more I got into it, I found like, it's not really it.
But you
it
know,
was something.
you know, some of it though. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. But some of that, isn't that like an excuse though? Like, don't you think like, you know, it's, I mean, you go to football camp when you're 19 years old and you don't have all this shit going on, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's easy. I think that whether you were in the military or not, the older you got, the less kind of the brotherhood was, because like you have your own families and like more shit. And the older you get and the more mature and the more you see like, yeah, like, you know, going to the bar ain't going to keep us bonded any longer. Right. Like, you know, so I think there's part of that. Right. But what I tell veterans all the time, and I agree with you, that they get out and they don't seem to be able to find this purpose.
Right,
But man, there's purpose everywhere in your communities.
there is.
You know what I mean?
And
Like,
here's the thing I can, and what I can share about that, we don't always all get that. And another thing, I tell you what, dude, there's a lot of us, as you know, come from really fucked up families. My dad was Korean Army vet. He was a very abusive, angry man, mean man. 6th grade education. My mom had an 8th grade education. So the truth of the matter is, a lot of us join the Marines or join the military to get away from our families, to survive, to move on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the point is, I understand now at 51 what you're talking about when you say community and purpose. I get it.
Yeah.
And what I can say about that, now I got out in 1992, dude. That's a couple days ago. And so it's taken me decades, okay, to learn what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But the purpose, the mission, and you also get people who are like, "Oh, you did 20 years, man. You retired. You know, you're all set." No, dude, I'm not all set.
Yeah,
we're not all set, because the longer that somebody was in, the more institutionalized you are. When people say institutionalized, what first comes to mind? Prison, right?
Well,
prison.
Yeah, but I mean, it's
The military's an institution, right?
Yeah.
You wake up, you know what uniform you're wearing, you know when chow is, you know where you're going, you know what you're doing. Day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, right? Especially if you're active duty. So
yeah. I mean, look, and
then all of a sudden,
I mean, stay-at-home moms, like when their kids go off to college and stuff, have a hard time dealing with it. Yep. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care what you do. You do the same thing over and over. You're comfortable and you do it long enough. It's the harder it is to break it away, right? I mean, the longer you're in a relationship, the harder it is to break it off. I mean, no matter what you do, right?
And there's also a different element, though, brother, that I've learned. I understand what you're saying, and I also can understand this. Nobody understands a Marine like a Marine. Nobody understands a veteran like a veteran. Nobody understands a teacher like a teacher, or a cop like a cop, or a firefighter like a firefighter. We can make these comparisons, which is all true. However, there is a big difference between life and death. So when you're in a situation that you've been in, the others have been in, some of us have been in, that when you're dealing with something that's your life and death on a regular basis, or on a period of time, literally your life and death, not figuratively, like, oh, I could die of a heart attack, but literally you're risking your life as a firefighter, as a police officer, as a first responder, as a combat element, as a vet, you know, as a Marine. That's different, ingrained psychologically. I'm currently working on my degree of psychology at UMass Boston, in the Boston area. So, you know, trying to figure, you know, my own shit out, but, you know, life in general, right? And so there's that bond mentally, emotionally, psychologically, that it's similar but different. I mean, you got teachers that have taught for 30 years and they retire. Yeah. I think first of all that I think that military, first responders, police, firefighters, RN, frontline healthcare workers, and veterans and teachers, I think we should all should be encompassed together in some type of holiday, some type of, if you get a discount, we all get it. because you are talking about life and death, in those professions as you're doing now. And like when you just talked about you hitting the shower, okay? I've been there, dude. And that emotion hits you. It's something about the water. I've read about this, that when you hit the shower, the water helps you to release that anxiety and that sadness.
Yeah, no.
But the reason why you're doing what you're doing is the same reason why I'm a U.S. Veterans Advocate. I started in 2014 because I needed to do more for others. Because when we help others, we help ourselves. And that's what service is, of any service, whether it's military or it's civilian or whatever it might be, is that doing for the best self-help, Dakota, I've learned in five decades, is helping others. Because in helping others, we help ourselves. And we know the Bible tells us that, right? So, giving is better than receiving, for in giving we receive as well. And that's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, well, I mean, 100%, right? And I think that everybody gives and everybody takes care of each other, in their own individual way, right? I don't think that everybody's built to go be in life or death situations. And what I'll be honest with you, I'll say that, I mean, first responders are in more life or death situations over their career than most veterans.
Yeah, I get it.
You know what I mean?
Get it.
So
and that's
yeah, I mean,
that's why a lot of vets become firefighters.
100%, right? But I think that, like, look, at the end of the day, like, we all, the fortunate thing is we all get to choose what we do, and we like you said, like, it's fulfilling. Like I go do what I do because I feel like, I love helping others, right? And that is really that, it's really that simple. And being able to be there for other people when they need it, like it's a really good feeling. And so,
I'll tell you another thing, man, that I've learned. A lot of people who have not been where you're at, not been where I'm at, or have not been, we're a very small percentage, man, of the whole population of the country. It's understandable the average citizen doesn't get it. But here's the thing. I didn't join the Marines because I was all into guns and blowing shit up and destroying things, and I wanted to hurt people. That had nothing to even cross my mind ever. I joined the Marines because I wanted to be a part of something greater than myself, and that's service. And the truth of the matter is that I've gotten to know myself over the decades is I love helping people, dude. I have my own dog care service where I take care of people. I train people's dogs. I take them for walks. I take them to parks. I wash them, stuff like that. In addition to being an NGO, U.S. Veterans Advocate, I advocate in courtrooms. I help fellow veterans get their benefits going. It's been so rewarding to have meet a veteran that's 60% service connected, that's diagnosed with lung cancer. It's going to die within a short period of time. Okay, this guy was an Army guy, and he was over there during Desert Storm, burning the barrels, breathing the freaking diesel and stirring it and all that, and burn pits. And here's this guy, he's a retired cop also, on top of it. They got him at 60%. He's on oxygen, okay? And, fortunately enough to be able to help him, go through va.gov and get him 100% and get him all his things to keep right. Dude, within days, because he's terminal. But, how long has he been like that, dude? How long had nobody helped him or been able to help him, or whatever you want to call it? You know what I mean? That to me is so rewarding, man.
Yeah, I mean, see, you don't have to go be a service member. You don't have to go and pick up a gun. You don't have to put on a uniform to help people.
Yeah, and at the same time, though, with my experience and my background, what I was saying is that I wasn't ever into death and destruction and boy, a lot of people, citizens, civilians, they don't have a fucking clue, dude. They watch too many movies, play too many video games. And they don't understand that a lot of us, like you, like me, like us, we want to help people, dude. We want to help them. We want to protect them, to protect the weak. In life, you've ever heard the sheep and the wolf, right? Well, actually, there's four. There's the sheep, the wolves, the wolves and sheep's clothing, and then guess who else there is? You and I, sheepdogs. There's sheepdogs in this world. Yeah. And we're here to protect our sheep, right? 100%. We're here to sniff out the sheep.
But you can't, but here's the deal, but you can't look down on or degrade the same thing you want to protect.
Right.
You can't be like, well, these fucking idiots walk around, they don't know a fucking thing that we do. Well, I mean, Like you can't sit here and like no, it doesn't. It's the dumb, like it makes us look stupid.
It does.
Like if we come back and say, well, fuck civilians, they don't fucking get it, blah blah blah. Well, then why protect them then? Then quit being a sheepdog.
That's right. And I got a buddy. He's 32-year master sergeant, retired Air Force.
Yeah.
And he uses the civilian puke, slime ball, all that. What you're taught. But what I say is this, and he doesn't like when somebody thanks him for his service, but I'm going to share with you and everybody listening what I learned to do. Because I went through that, like, do I say thank you? When somebody says thank you for your service, I look them right in the eyes, dude, and I just calmly say and pleasantly say, thank you for thinking us, because we respectfully appreciate those who respectfully appreciate us. And for those who don't, we don't. And that's just as simple as what life is really about. If you want respect, you got to give it. And that goes all the way around.
100%.
And if you're not going to respect me and what I do or what I've done or what we do now, or
well, I mean, do you do it for the respect?
you know, have a good day.
Like, that's my question to you.
Well,
like, do you get up so people walk around and blow you and say, oh God, you're so fucking great. If you want to do that, go be a fucking NFL star.
But I'll tell you what,
I don't get up for people to know me or to thank me or people to hand out or people to recognize. I don't get out of bed in the mornings so that people appreciate me. I get out of bed in the morning so that I can help people. And I don't care if they appreciate me or not. I don't care if they like me or not. I don't care what they believe in. I get out of bed and train harder every single day for the person that needs me. Period. Like I don't get out of it to be like, I don't want somebody to fucking lay out the red carpet or people to walk around and I mean, like that's like when people get like that, like you're not doing it for the right reasons.
At the same time, what I want to tell you, you asked the question about the respect. No, of course I don't do it with respect. In fact, I'm surprised when people say this to me, right? Like, thank you for your service. But what it is, that respect is like the cherry on top, okay? It's like maybe the icing on the cake. No, my cake, what I build is the satisfaction that I'm able to help fellow veterans that are down and almost out. Look, dude, I've been through homeless programs, okay, years ago. I went through all that. I was down and almost out, okay? I've been through that. I understand that. I know what
you and a shit ton of other people. Like look at all the fucking people out in LA. I mean, like, listen, nobody's trauma. You, me, and nobody else have gone through something that somebody else hasn't gone through. It's unique, not to you or me or anybody else.
Right.
The only thing unique to us and our identity is our comeback.
That's right. That's right, dude. You know what Sylvester Stallone say? It's not about
how hard you hit. It's about how hard you get hit.
About getting back up.
Hell yeah, man.
Dude, I've been there, bro.
Hell yeah.
I've been there. I've been, in dark. I've been in fucking places like you've been in, like a lot of us have been in, that nobody in their right mind would want to be in. So.
Yeah, but nobody in their right mind would want to be in, but there's still people across the world that are praying for your worst day.
I don't know about that. Being ICU, not knowing if you're gonna live.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Listen.
But I don't think they pray for that.
All right, cool. Well, listen, man, I appreciate you, brother. You're the man. You're doing great work. Keep getting after it. Keep taking care of those service members, man. You're crushing it.
Hey, I text you my card too.
Hell
maybe
yeah.
Sometime, I'm in the Boston area, but maybe roll down. I can roll down sometime and make like wet laundry and hang out.
Hell yeah. Oh, that's pretty good. I like that wet laundry, bro. Cool, man. Well, let me know if you need anything. I'm gonna take some more calls.
All right, Devil.
Hell yeah, bro. Thank you for your service. What else we got, Knives?
Let's go ahead and we got a missed call. Let's give him a call back.
Why don't we just wait till somebody else calls us? What other questions we got?
Got a question here. With the world in shambles, and at the age of 29, it's hard for me to look towards the future. How do you look towards the future?
I don't see the world in shambles. Like with the world, like the question was, well, they probably heard you, right? I don't see the world's in shambles. Like, answer it. Hey, what's going on? It's Dakota with Your Human Podcast.
Hey.
What's going on?
I was trying to get Dakota.
Yes, sir. It's him.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
This is Greg Wilson. I was with 2-8, 87 and 92.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you for your service.
Yeah, you were with 2-8, right?
No, I was a 3. I was a 3-3.
Okay. For some reason, I remember somebody bragging about you being from 2-8.
No, I think maybe was that Carpenter?
You know what? That was Kyle Carpenter.
Yeah, but anyways, I'll be the second best.
You are the man.
What's going on, man?
Listen, I just wanted to let you know you are an inspiration to me, man. I've been, I've had a lot of issues from the burn pits. And,
Oh man.
and I have epilepsy, which, whenever I have a seizure, I end up with some physical injuries. But like just, knowing that there's guys out there that like you and the VA that are really supporting me, it's like, without the Marine Corps brotherhood, I don't know what I would do. I just, I love all of my
Hell yeah, brother.
Marines, and it really, really is an inspiration to be able to talk to you, and I appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate what your service and man, I'm sorry to hear that. But you still out there crushing it or what?
Yeah, well, I'm not able to drive right now because of the seizure. So I started a internet marketing company. I work for another internet marketing agency. So I'm doing it on my own, actually working with a lot of veteran-owned businesses. So
hell yeah. Well, put a plug in there. Where they find you at?
Okay. We'll just put it in the chat.
No, say it right now. We'll get it out there.
It is Sherwood Media Services, www.sherwoodmediaservices.com. My email is greg@sherwoodmediaservices.com.
Tell us what you do.
10% discount for any veteran owned business.
Hell yeah.
Specialize in internet marketing. So I really appreciate that, man.
Hell yeah, man. Well, listen, that's awesome. Well, listen, just, you're doing it the Marine way, right? Like, you got dealt a bad hand and you're what do we do in the Marine Corps? Improvise, adapt and overcome, baby.
Adapt and overcome, or blame somebody else.
100%. Well, I appreciate what you're doing, man. I appreciate you calling in and man, I hope you have a great day.
All right, man. Semper Fi.
Semper
Honor
Fi.
to talk to you.
Semper Fi, brother. Man,
That's amazing.
how awesome's that?
Got a question for you, and this
Yeah.
is something I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. How can you build self-confidence?
How can you build self-confidence? It's momentum, right? By doing shit that you don't think you can do and achieving it, right? Like you build self-confidence by getting out of your comfort zone. The more you get uncomfortable, the more uncomfortable you get and show yourself that you can do that, the more confidence you build. So I mean, like if you just do the shit and you stick to what you know and you stick to what you're comfortable with, like you're never going to get more confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Like you already have confidence in that.
Yeah.
So like you got to get out of your comfort zone.
How do you get the balls to get out of your comfort zone?
Well,
Or the courage?
I mean, you've got to be okay with being the worst at something again. Usually people that have low confidence comes with laziness.
Mm-hmm.
It comes with laziness, right? Like if you're willing to work your ass off as hard as you can, day in and day out, why would you not try anything? Like why? But it's like, fuck, like I got to learn all this. I got to work like passion, caring. Like you would be surprised at how fucking smart and how good you can be at something if you care about it and you're willing to work at it.
Yeah. I like hearing you talk about passion. That's a word you don't use often.
I don't use it often.
But I like it. What's your favorite part about being a firefighter?
Just like just being able to go help people, like being able to, I like the challenge. I like the responsibility it puts on my shoulders of being prepared and continuously getting better at things and continuously like having to, stay on top of my game, physically, mentally, emotionally, and then skill set wise. And so I like that because you never know what the next call is going to be. You never know what people are going to need. Mm-hmm. And then I like just being able to help people, right? Like to be able to give people hope. Like, I mean, you got to think like when people dial 911, whether it's a dumb call or not, like they needed you. And so if I'm the one that shows up, and I get to do that, I get to show up, I get to help people, I get to be there for them.
What part of your life, childhood, adolescence, after the military, did it click for you that you wanted to be of service and help people?
I don't know. I mean, I just think that like,
You think you're wired that way from the get, or like when did that click for you?
I mean, I think like growing up on a farm, like that, being a farmer is nothing but service.
Mhm.
Like those animals rely on you to eat, every aspect, to take care of them, to protect them, to, you know what I mean? And like, so it's like your whole life is dedicated around serving something other than yourself. Like it doesn't matter if it's your birthday or, it doesn't matter if you're sick, like that animal still has to eat because you are what it relies on. Right. And so I just think that like, that was just, my dad lived his whole life around service and serving people, not in the fire service or anything, but like, I mean, he served people at his job, and he, came home and worked, and, it was service to the animals. You know what I mean? It was never you come last.
Yeah, I think it's important. I'm a father. It's important that our kids see that, right?
I mean, look, the biggest, and like I was with Colt McCoy last night, and
Sounds familiar. Football player.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was with him last night, and I took a note. He said, it's really awesome. He said, and he put it in the best terms that I've ever heard when it comes to kids. He said his dad told him that he's working on preparing him for the path, not the path for him.
Whoa.
And so when you think about it with our kids,
What does that mean to you?
I mean, it means that,
What's the path?
well, that's what they're going to face in life. Like, I'm not going to make life easy on them. I'm not going to go pad the path that they're going to walk, and I'm not going to try to create and help them overcome the path. Like, I'm going to prepare them for the fucking path.
Right. Not what you as a helicopter parent want to design for your kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because at some point when they turn 18, like you ain't going to be able to run out there and do that path. You're not going to be able to be there to rescue them all the time.
That's a fact. God, my son's going to be 18 soon, man. It's crazy. I can't believe it. I'm not going to, what do I do? I don't know. That's a conversation for another time. Got a question here from Instagram. Do you ever plan on writing another book?
I'm actually in the middle of writing another book right now. Got to come up with a title for it, but in the middle of, I think I've got 6 or 7 chapters done. It'll be a 10-chapter book about the size of Make Your Bed. Should be coming out this fall.
That's exciting. This year?
Yep.
Dang. You got same person asks, do you ever miss the Marine Corps?
Do I miss the Marine Corps? Yeah, I mean, look, I think we all miss something. Yeah, I mean, do I miss parts of it? 100%. Do I totally miss the Marine Corps? No.
So I just want to go ahead and tell our listeners that our lines are open at 512-523-5609. Feel free to give us a call. Nothing's off the table. What made you decide to do this podcast?
What made me decide to do the Your Human podcast? It was important to me, right? Like the Your Human podcast is people can call in, people can ask whatever questions they want. Like, I think that too many podcasts have gotten into what I call the echo chambers of where like it's a controlled environment. I'm not going to ask you a question. You're not going to do this. Like, this is a place where you can call in and you can throw whatever at me. And I'll tell you what's funny is you hear all these people, the loudest motherfuckers on Instagram talking shit and things like that. I ask them all to call in. How many of them have called in?
0.
Facts.
Got a pretty deep one here from Instagram. Found out that I can't have babies. I think this is a woman. How can I push through being sad?
Just trust that there's something else meant for you, right? You got to trust in the plan. We don't always get to come up with our own plan, and you got to trust that for some reason down the road that it's all gonna, that puzzle piece that you're missing you're gonna find it in something else. And I know it's not an easy thing, and it's easy for me to say, but but what I would tell you is to start looking for the there is good in this bad.
Hmm. What are some ways civilians can show appreciation for veterans?
Go out and live your life to the fullest. Live your life to be a worthy of the sacrifices that not only veterans but that first responders make every single day. Go out and live a damn good life and take care of each other.
You've accomplished a lot in your career. What goals do you have for yourself in the future?
Just to continue on down the path, right? Like, just I'm finishing up my paramedic, figure out where, I'm kind of doing a 6-month block right now, a chunk, figure out where my next goals are for, the first half of 2024. Right. But yeah, just to continue to knock these goals out I have over the next 6 months. And then, once I complete those, knock out the next ones, right? And just keep moving on and getting better and, meeting more people and just, building that, making that circle tight and, just making sure that I'm 1% better every single day.
Got a question here from YouTube. Active Marine mom here. I want to be anonymous, she says.
Perfect.
Question. If a Marine is in the same rank for over 3 years, Lance Corp infantry, deployed once,
Normal.
what can he do to rank up?
Well, it comes down to on him, right? Oh, here we go.
Get back to that.
Hey, it's Dakota. It's Your Human Podcast.
Hey, how you doing, Dakota? Just wanted to give you a shout out. You came out to Afghan 13 Tech 2 around Christmas time.
Hell yeah.
Had, just lost a guy, and man, just respect the hell out of you for coming out there. And that speech was just real powerful, man. Just appreciate what you do. And
I remember that you it was at your unit.
Yes, sir.
I remember that like it was yesterday. We landed and we got to be part of the ramp ceremony for that. It was a sergeant, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, for that staff sergeant. Yeah. Yeah, man. Like I'll tell you, I hit the ground and I wish you guys could have heard like the stories that they were telling about you all, about the heroism and how badass you guys were on that firefight.
But yeah, man, just wanted to thank you. Appreciate the hell out of you. And like I said, you represent the Corps real damn well, man.
I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you, man. I hope you have a good day.
You too, my man.
Cool, man. See you. Gosh, man, I remember that. I went over to Afghanistan with the Comrade of the Marine Corps in 2013, and just there's a lot of like they were still fighting their asses off down there, and man, as soon as we landed, the staff sergeant had gotten killed in a gunfight that day, and we did the ramp ceremony with them. So like where they bring him up on the airplane to fly him home. And it was just, man, it was like, holy shit. And just a bunch of badass warriors I got to meet over there. I got to go around. We got to serve them all dinner on Christmas Eve. And just, man, I remember we went over there. We took a Kevlar to this kid who got shot in the head, and it like the bullet went around it in his helmet. So we took him a new Kevlar and gave it to him, got to meet him. And then there was another kid who got shot in the, like, it got shot in maybe the heel or something, went into his foot, and he still finished the foot patrol for another.
Got shot in his foot?
Yeah. Just when I tell you, like, just badass human beings, like these guys were just hardened warriors just out there kicking ass.
This was 10 years ago. You remember?
10 years. Oh, I remember that day. Dude, I can remember, like, I remember staying on that flight line that night. I remember the whole thing.
Is that common? Like when you go to Afghanistan? During that time, I guess.
People got killed. Yeah. That's what they do. Every time, like, they do that, the ramp ceremonies for every one of our guys that we lost or that we lose over there.
Holy smokes, man. Got a missed call. Should I give him a call back?
Yeah. That'll be the last call. And I got to answer her question.
Of course.
What's going on? It's Dakota with Your Human Podcast.
Hey, Dakota, how's it going, man?
Good, good. What's up, man?
Oh, I just caught you on a couple of those episodes with that panty waist Jared Johnson. You know,
What a good guy, right?
he is an awesome dude, man. Like he always helps so many other people, and I always give him crap, you know, to try to push himself a little harder because he's always doing so much for so many other people.
Dude, he's an animal. When you talk about a selfless human being, like Jared Johnson is just a selfless human being. And I'll tell you what, ain't nobody going to outwork that guy.
I know it. And, you know, you always see him at the competitions and things, and he's just, he's always there to help. He's always so positive and encouraging, and he backs up everything that he talks to.
That's a fact.
I mean, telling you to do something, he's doing it.
Oh, yeah. Doing it twice as much.
Yeah. So I guess, you know, my questions are, you know, you're starting this out, you know, with him. Like you're going to be, you know, leaps and bounds ahead of like most other people. I mean, I don't know what kind of experience you have with Combat Challenge, but like starting out, like how is it that your body's reacting? You know, I don't want to call you an average Joe. You're pretty
like shit and shoved in, man. Like shit and shoved in. Like when I tell you, like, I mean, I don't know how I could be leaps and bounds ahead of anybody because, like, I mean, when I'm going through the same process anybody else is, and man, let me tell you this: for the firefighter combat challenge or firefighter challenge, there is no easy way. Like there ain't. I mean, you know, you can game it as much as you want, but like the work is the work, and you just got to get the work done faster than anybody else, right? And I mean, I'll be happy to go there, and if I can break a 150, I mean, that'll be like a good day for me.
Yeah, well, I guess you know, it's kind of the all encapsulating. Like you're going to be physically trained for it. You're going to be mentally trained for it when it comes to all of the prep.
Yeah.
Then of course you have the experience of doing it and the competition nerves and all that stuff. But like I remember when I first started, you know, I worked up at the Air Force Academy, and in 2004 I was getting ready for the 2005 season, and like we had just learned how to wet our gloves before we went up. Tower. It's things like that. I mean, like that the average Joe that's going out there, we don't know some of these tricks of the trade until you know, it's like by failure that you're doing it. But, you know, you're getting all of that stuff. And I'm just hoping, like,
I think it's going to help me some. But I, you know, I'll be honest with you, like some of it, I don't think it helps until you start getting down into like the sub 80s, right? Like, yeah, like I think, you know, I mean, I switched my rope hoist up, but at the end of the day, for me, like I'm still just trying, like it ain't about me trying to get it done faster. It's about me just trying to get it fucking done. Right. Like, but like, yeah, like when you talk about, but I don't know if did you see my episode 1 and 2? Like, so we like, like that was kind of part of the reason that Jared was like, man, you know, let's, like, these aren't secrets. Like, these are just tips. And it's like, hey, like everybody should be doing this. And so like, you know, the hope is to make it more achievable to the rest of the service. So it doesn't look like, you know, some hard thing. And I think it's going to help me. I think, I mean, for sure, it's going to help me more of just training with them, right? And having the knowledge and what to expect. But man, like at the end of the day, like it is a fucking hard 2 minutes, ain't it?
Oh, it's brutal. But I tell you what, you know, I have watched the first and the second one, and it's for somebody like me, you know, that, you know, I retired out of the fire department, you know, 30-ish years.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then, you know, I've been doing this since 2005, and I still do it, and, you know, participate and help out with the competition where I can. But, you know, it's hard to find something after this long that'll kind of keep you motivated. You know, I'm in my 50s, but I tell you what, watching you guys and how you're translating it over to the average Joe and into the veteran firefighter. Yeah. And some of those things like, hey, you know, big dogs eat, or, you know, giving your buddy shit for sleeping in, you know, like that's the kind of stuff that, like, you know, I done an extra set on leg day.
Hell yeah. you know what we talked about, like, and I talked about it with Jared is, you know, I could see like how, I mean, it'll just like how it could get kind of boring, right? Like, but what I told him that they should do is, and I don't know, you would know better than me. But what they should do is they should have like 5 areas of skills, like, hey, and then every time you go, like every different area, it's a different setup.
I'm not following.
So
what
like
do
you
mean by
can't, so like you can't game it, right? Like you can't,
Yeah.
it's not the same course every time. Like in NASCAR, they don't just have the same length of every course.
Yeah, that's true. But I guess over in Firegrounds, it's not always going to be the same, but there's so many similarities. And I don't know the science behind how it all began, but I do know that it was all to translate over from what you kind of experience on a fireground, right?
Yeah.
So what's the first thing that you do? You grab some tools and equipment and you do some work with your legs. You're moving, prepping, getting things set up, and then you find a place that you have to do work,
Yep.
forcible entry or something of that nature. And then, the hardest part is, getting someplace safe for you and the person you're rescuing, like dragging hose.
Yep.
The harder part. And then the motivation and the drive and the dig to do that final push at the end on that dummy drag, to where, like, here we go, we're feeling sorry for ourselves on that dummy drag halfway through. Like, my legs hurt, my lungs hurt. But if you translate that over to, like, where would you really be if you was pulling someone else out and you got protective clothing in a, superheated atmosphere, and you have fresh air that you're breathing, but the person that you don't, that you're dragging don't, how do you find that extra bit of energy, as death is catching them before it is you?
Yeah. I mean, you're not gonna, look, Rit's not gonna happen when you first get there.
Yeah.
When you're fresh, you know what I mean? Like, or you're gonna do all, like you said, all the things. I think I love how it is, but like you said, though, guys kind of, they're going to get worn, they'll get kind of worn out on just doing the same thing over and over.
True. It is true. But, I was just kind of curious, is like, what's your background? I've seen some Semper Fi stuff on there. My son's in the Marines. Was you in the Marines?
I was a Marine. Yes, sir.
Man, that's awesome. Thanks for your service and what you've done and what you continue to do.
Yeah, no, I love it. Love it. So are you going to be at Utah?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'll meet you out there for sure. I'm at all the competitions from here on out. But yeah, I'll be the little old guy out there, the one, nagging at Jared.
Hell yeah. We'll hey, he needs it. He needs it. He needs it. So I appreciate you, man. I look forward to meet you here in what are we, 3 weeks out?
Yeah, something like that, but we'll have it all set up and prepped and real pretty for you, but it don't make it hurt less because it's pretty.
It doesn't matter how pretty it is, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, that's good. Well, I'll see you here in a few weeks. I appreciate you calling in, sir. I look forward to meeting you.
All right, Dakota, you take care, buddy.
Take care, brother. Man, what a good guy. Hey, also back to, so what was her question again? So,
Of course. Question. If a Marine is in the same rank over 3 years, Lance Corp infantry, deployed once, what can you do to rank up?
Well, just keep doing more MCIs, keep doing things to show he's a leader, right? MCIs, I'm sure that there's other credits to where it applies into a score. But it is kind of normal. I don't want to say it's normal, but in the infantry, sometimes it's hard to get promoted, like, especially to corporal. That was always something. 3 years as a Lance Corporal. He should be getting promoted, right? Like, within the next year for sure. But I would also look into what more is he doing? Like, if he's only doing what everybody else is doing, well, then he'll get promoted when everybody else does, and it puts him in a bigger category. If he wants to get promoted before them, he's got to do more and show that, right? And so I remember what I used to do is on Fridays that I would go down and I would knock more MCIs out. And I don't know all the promotional pieces of it right now, but like, I would go sit down with my leadership and ask them what they recommend on what they would like to see me do or be part of, so for them to promote me, right? Like that'd be my suggestion. So, I appreciate you all, and I hope you all have a great weekend. What an incredible week. I hope you all had an incredible week. What an awesome show, getting to talk to a bunch of incredible people. And I will be back here on Tuesday, so keep owning it.